C versus Hydras, our fourth set on Outlier. And it's interesting because this is the first time that C has faced a non-Protoss player in this Pro League, which is, I'm sure, a refreshing change for him, seeing as though he's lost to all but one of them. Except, down at the 5 o'clock position in orange is Hydra, scouting left. That means up at the 12 o'clock position in purple, I think, was C. Now, I think C has a lot more to prove here than Hydra does. You can just see how nervous, look how nervous C looks. He looked nervous before the game, and he still looks nervous, because he has an awful lot to prove right now, because in the past, like, 6 or 7 games he's played in this Pro League that he's been fielded by his team, he's been fielded a lot by Team 8. He's only won 1 game, and he's played all Protoss players, and he's lost about 5 or 6 games, I think, which is very unlike C. And it's weird to see him failing so hard against one race, too, because C has always had all good matchups. I mean, his versus Protoss is his weakest, I believe, but not by much. I think it's in the mid to upper 50s, percentage-wise, so he just has all good matchups, so it's weird to see him failing so hard against Protoss. But yes, he has an awful lot to prove, not only because he's playing for the clincher here, he's playing for the winning game in the set, but because he needs to buck that trend of losing so hard. He needs to become a real ace for his team, the way he was on MBC Game. Because when Light was on MBC Game with C, those two were so unstoppable. They led MBC through so many good rounds, but yeah, whenever C would slump, that's when the rest of the team would fall apart, because the rest of MBC was not good enough to prop up the team the way that C and Light could. And of course, Light is on Wunjin Stars now, and C is on Team 8, so my things change. And okay, C is in here, he's getting the scout, he has yellow SCV, he was trying to take down that drone unsuccessfully. The drone put down the hatchery, of course. And there is a drone for Hydra in as well, just trying to see what C is up to. C putting down his command center. C putting down the CC, so to speak. And I think that, is that a 14cc from C? I think it was, actually, because I don't see any other building for him coming up. And I'm looking at that. Oh, he took down a drone as well. The scouting drone from Hydra squished inside of the main by that one SCV that is in red. So if Hydra does want to run in with a single Zergling or something later, might be able to take that out. Yeah, but see, just now building his barracks, which means that what was a 14cc build from him. Wants to get that economic advantage. And let's see how Hydra counters this. You'd think that he would put down his third base pretty soon. Feel a little bit safer doing that, because it's going to be a while before C can move out and do anything there. But no, he's getting the Zerglings. Going to run those Zerglings to the front, because he knows that C is going to have minimal defenses for the time being. He's probably only going to have about one, maybe one, Marine at the front by the time the Zerglings reach that natural expansion. His barracks just about up, and there's C transferring his SCVs over to the natural expansion. There's the lair, the Zerglings just chasing around the SCV, and a few of them going toward the front. But I don't think that Hydra has, I don't think he's expecting to get much done at this front. Otherwise, I think he would have sent all of his Zerglings to the natural expansion, which he probably could have done and gotten some damage done that way. But see, just now getting up the bunker, throws the Marine in the bunker, so there's no way these Zerglings are going to be able to do anything. So they decided to just chase around the SCVs, take out some scouts. Take out the scouts, make those Zerglings worth it. And there is Hydra. Yeah, this is a weird map, because you can go the long way around to scout by just going through the bottom like this. And he could be trying to set up another expansion as well down here. Yeah, but it makes scouting very interesting, I think. Trying to glitch your workers past the pyramids. I think that's what those are called. Pyramid temples, something like that. Some kind of Zelnaga thing. But there come the Academy and the Engineering Bay for C at the exact same time. And yeah, Hydra was going to put down his base. He put down the 6 o'clock base, and that's going to be very difficult for C to get to without dropships or wraiths or something like that. So hopefully C scouts that soon. But now C is pushing the front a little bit with his Marines. I don't think he was expecting to get much done there, except make Hydra put down a creep colony, which Hydra did put down a creep colony, and we're going to see if he morphs that into a sunken soon. Always good for a Terran player to pressure the front like that, even if they're not going to attack. Got to make the Zerg waste money on something, and usually that's sunken colonies at the front. Okay, Spire coming up. I think that was actually scouted by C, and the creep colony hasn't morphed into a sunken yet. There's some additional barracks coming up for C. Can definitely jumpstart his economy now. He's been running those 2 bases for quite a while, so he should just start pumping medic marines out the wazoo to pressure the front, and yeah, get that front to collapse in a gooey pile of Zergness. And okay, here's the Zerglings kind of testing the front. It's good to have the Zerglings test the waters, so to speak, by running back and forth at the front of the natural, just to see how many troops are on the ground. If you can see it, usually a Terran player will be smart enough to hide the amount of medic marines he has. Okay, some turrets coming up. Turrets behind the natural expansion and closer to these barracks, I believe, behind the main. So C has some pretty good turret positioning at each of his bases. Here come the mutas for Hydra, a few mutas, trying to snipe what he can, but not able to get much done there. I don't think he's going to be able to get much done at the natural expansion either, just because of the way the turrets are positioned. Probably the best way that Hydra can go right now is to go for the production buildings or just these troops on the ground, just because there's only one turret next to the barracks. And the main barracks is floating back to the rest of the barracks just to make it a little bit easier to micro. And now the Zerglings are trying to break through a sneaky little passage behind this natural expansion, trying to break through the temple. That's going to take a while, though, as these Marines fend off the mutas. Mutas trying to get something done, but so far Hydra hasn't been able to get anything done. There's a factory I saw coming up for C. No static defense at the front. Hydra is foregoing that for the time being. And a Queen's Nest and an Evolution Chamber from Hydra. Interesting. So I think he might be trying to work into Ultras